Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lucy and thank you so much for joining us today. So today I'm going to do a how I study for like major exams kind of video. I feel like sometimes when you have like a really big exam coming up, it can be so overwhelming. You know, you just have loads of notes, a huge massive book, and it's so hard to know like how to break down the topics and where to even begin. So I thought that I would make this video because I'm halfway through my law exams now. So I have my undergrad. I have a BCL law with economics degree from UCD, and I'm halfway through the FE1s, which are the name given to the exams that you have to sit in Ireland if you want to become a solicitor. So there's 8 exams in total, and they're in the 8 key areas of core areas of law. I have sat 4 exams. I sat tort and EU law in August and I passed those, and then I sat company and contract law just in November just gone, and I literally got my results on Thursday just gone and I passed both of those as well, so I was absolutely delighted. And I thought that I would just do a little video because I feel like my study technique, I kind of have it down now, and you know, I know exactly, like there's no wasting time trying to figure out like what I'm going to do, how I'm going to go about my studying, and it really is just like really nice to have like a really focused plan and know exactly what you're doing, exactly like how everything is going to go. And I feel like my strategy works as well because I've gotten through the exams thus far. So if you would like to see how, and also I wanted to say, while obviously this is like mainly applicable to law, I feel like it would very much apply to a lot of different disciplines, so I wouldn't be discouraged if you are not doing law exams. I feel like this could very much be quite easily applied to different disciplines, so keep watching if you would like to see my techniques. Okay, so when I was preparing for this video I made a few notes, and the number one thing that I would suggest is whether you take the system that I show you in this video or you adapt it yourself or make up your own system, my number one tip is to have a system. So you need to know, okay, so this is what I'm going to do, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, and then I'll be ready for the exam. For me, it's too chaotic to just be like day by day being like, well, I'll just see what I get done today, and then tomorrow I'll just see what I get done then, because then all of a sudden it's the week before the exam and you're nowhere near where you should be and it's just chaos. The absolute second most important tip from me is to have a journal and use it. You need to write down everything that you're doing every day, and it helps so much because mentally, if you have a huge if you have a huge subject that you need to study for and there's so many topics and it's just like this big mountain, if you just write down, okay, today I'm going to do chapter 3, chapter 4, type up summary notes, and then at the end of the day you can tick off, I got chapter 3 and it off, it's done. Mentally you can see it right there on the page, you got that done, you achieved something today and you achieved something tomorrow. You're keeping track of everything that you're doing. It also helps you to plan ahead, so you could try plan out your whole week, write out the chapters that you think you're going to get done this week, next week, and then you can predict where you're going to be the week before the exam and know, okay, well I should have this, that and the other done by the time that it's time to really start cramming for the exam. It also helps me so much, like when I get to the week before the exam and I'm like, oh my god, I've done nothing, what have I been doing all this time? I can look back on everything that I have done and it's all right there, it's all laid out at a glance, and you can literally see all the work that you've put in, and it really just reassures you and makes you feel ready for the exam. Okay, so now we have our system decided, we have our journal, we've written everything down. Now it's time to actually get to the studying part of it, the boring part. So I'm going to show you examples of contract law, which is the exam that I did back in November, and I passed it as well. So I'm just going to show you the notes that I used for that. These are my like key steps. They're super easy, breaks everything down. So these are the books that I got. I bought these online. They're from City College, which are, word of mouth says that City Colleges are the best FE1 manuals. So if you are looking for FE1 manuals, I'd really recommend these. I think they're really good, and I've got on really well with all of the subjects so far. I got these all on Gumtree secondhand off someone who actually did the courses in City College. I didn't do the courses because I did law in college, so I just didn't feel the need, and I haven't felt the need yet to actually do the courses in Griffith or City College, but if you want to do them, that's totally personal preference, up to you. So this is the manual. As you can see, it's pretty thick for one subject, and what I will do the first day of studying is I open up the manual on the contents page and I scan the topics, have a look and see, okay, this is this. So for this is contract, there was 18 different topics that I was on the contents page of the manual. Okay, the next thing you need to do is get an exam grid. Now, these might not be available for every subject, but basically exam grids divide down all the past papers for however many years and tell you what came up each year. So you can look, and like some things just never come up. Like for example, the law of agency never comes up. It's on the syllabus, but like it's literally never been examined. So straight away I put an X through that one. And then I went through the rest, but I will look at the past papers and I will decide, okay, this never comes up, or this hasn't come up in 10 years, or this, that and the other, and I cull topics, because I'm not sure if other disciplines will be the same as this, but for law, for the FE1s, you just can't do every topic. Like there's too much in there. And personally, I would not be able to remember that many facts and that many cases for if you were to do every single topic. So I cut a few topics, and it's okay to cut a few topics. You need to just think about the maths of the exam. So for the FE1s, 8 questions are on the paper and you have to answer 5. So if there's 18 topics, you can cut 5 topics and you're still going to be well covered. You just need to be smart about which topics you do cut. So yeah, that's the number one thing you do. And already we've taken this massive, overwhelming book and we've cut it down by like a good 5 or 6 chapters. So that's tip number 1. I made oat milk coffee with a little dash of vanilla. So good. Okay. My next tip is, what I do is I go through the manual. I'll skim read the chapter. Try and read it as fast as you can. If you have time, get a highlighter and highlight, for law, we have a lot of like case names that we have to memorize. So I'll memorize the case names in a different color, and then I'll memorize key facts in a different color. So case names really stand out when you just are going through it later on. For example, here's a really good example. So the case names are in pink and then the key facts are in yellow. So for me, that works really well, because then I'm going through it again and I'm going to type up my summary page. So basically what that entails is, literally, I'll type up the bare minimum. So I'm trying to reduce like a 25 page chapter onto maybe 5 pages, 6 pages. For me, this works really well by just taking the book and how it's phrased by the professionals and rephrasing it into my own words. It kind of helps me to get the ideas into my head a lot better than just reading through the book by myself. Next, now that we've gone through the book, we've highlighted all the key bits, you just type up your summary page. This is my summary page for chapter 1 of contract law. So it's all about offer and acceptance, and it's 9 pages long, okay? But that sounds like a lot. However, if you actually look at this, it's divided down into bullet points. It's very spaced out. It's also very aesthetically pleasing, which I think is very important. When you're doing your summary pages, you don't want to be reading big, massive paragraphs of information. That's what the book is for. Your summary page is for a one-liner, a bullet point, case name, one-liner. Like, that's all you need. I'm going to actually turn around the camera. So we have our title, obviously, offer. Then we have a few cases, the next topic, and then I like these subtitles as well, and you can do the little different types of bullet points, really help me. I'm very much like, I like aesthetically pleasing notes, much like a visual learner, so I think that making notes that are aesthetically pleasing is so important for that, and it really helps me to just like absorb the information a lot easier than if it was massive paragraphs. And then the next step that I do is I go through the summary page and highlight it, and this is now going to be the fourth time that you're going through the information. It really should be starting to get into your head now, and highlighting everything again just really helps me to really memorize it and get it ingrained into my brain. Okay, now we're really nearly at the end now. So after we've done all of this, the second last step for me is that I now make a brainstorm. Because we've only typed the notes so far, I like to just write write things out, because for me, as I said before, in college I used to handwrite all my notes. Personally, I find that it's the best way to really ingrain something into your brain is writing it out. But obviously we don't have time to write out, like these are all my summary notes for just contract. We wouldn't have time to write all of those out because that would just be insane. So this is the best way that I have found to really cut down on the time that you spend writing, but you still get to really incorporate those key facts into like physically writing it out. So if you find that you learn best by actually writing things out by hand, definitely incorporate this step into your study regime. I think it's so beneficial. So this is the whole topic. Remember I told you my summary page was 9 pages typed, and I got the whole thing onto one, actually no, it's divided, yeah, onto two brainstorms, because there was actually 2 different topics in that summary page. So 1 brainstorm per topic. That's obviously so important. 1 brainstorm per topic. Do it. 1 brainstorm, 1 brainstorm, 1 brainstorm. These are all different topics, and it just makes, this is like really amazing night before the exam revision. You can just flick through your brainstorms and you have all of the vital information. Say you studied 9 topics for the exam, 9 pages to look at, and it's all right there in front of you, and it's just jumps out at you. So I'm going to show you really quickly how I actually, because one of my friends was like, where do you even start when you're doing a brainstorm? Like, how do you do it? What do you put on the page? So I'm going to show you guys really quickly what I do and how I decide what to put on the page. So what I do is I always obviously start by writing the word in the middle of the page, and then I start in the top corner, and usually wait to draw the arrows until the end, until your brainstorm is completely finished. So I just start in the top corner with whatever the intro to the topic is, little bit of an introduction, and then we just start literally, so essential elements of the offer. And that's what we have here, essential elements of the offer. Like, it's the exact same. You're taking your headings, and then you're taking 1 or 2 of the key points. This is like if you were in the exam and you couldn't remember anything else, this is what you need to get down to pass the question. That's how I would describe what the brainstorm is. It is the essential information. And I go around in a circle, and then I draw my arrows afterwards. I really cannot recommend these enough if you like writing your notes down to get them into your head. And also just if you're like kind of a visual learner, sometimes I'll be in an exam and I literally can like picture my brainstorm, and I'm like, okay, what did it say in that bottom corner? Because I know that's what I need right now to write down. And like, it really helps me, because I definitely do think I have a little bit of a photographic memory. So if you can remember things visually, I really just can't recommend this enough. Like, it is such a key technique. So the final step is just to highlight the brainstorm. Again, I highlight case names in one colour and general facts in another, and it just means that the night before, when you're skimming through all your brainstorms, everything, it just pops out. If I have time the day before the exam and I feel like I still haven't got all of the case names really ingrained and memorized into my brain, is I will just make a night before sheet, or like a night before sheet, that's what I would call it. So literally, this is my example from contract law. So as you can see, it is chaotic, but it works for me. So the only thing on this sheet is case names. That is the only thing, because that's what I need to learn off. So what I'll do is, as you can see here, it says offer in a square, so that's the topic, and then I just have it divided down, and these are all the cases that I was like, these are essential to know if you're answering a question on an offer. The final thing that I do, this isn't really like to memorize things, but I would highly recommend, if you are able in any way to get your hands on past papers, like this. These are the FE1 ones these are for company, not contract, but it doesn't matter. They're past exams, and also examiner reports. I don't know if this is exclusively a law thing or if they do this in other disciplines, but the examiner will publish a report every year, and a little paragraph on each question that was on the exam, how well it was answered, what, like, if students focused on one thing that was wrong and they should have focused more on this, and what the examiner was actually looking for when they said this, etc, etc. And I have found those extremely helpful for like understanding, kind of like getting inside the brain of the examiner and seeing what they're actually looking for. And then obviously past exam papers are so important, you know, they always have been. We use past exam papers in school for the leaving cert, use them in college. These exams are no different, and any professional exam, if you can get your hands on past exam questions, it's just so beneficial and so important, because it really teaches you how to like read the question and understand straight away, okay, that means this, that means this. I think it's really important to incorporate practicing answering questions into your study regime. I hope that if you did watch this video, you have found some beneficial tips, and please do let me know if you try them out, and best of luck with any exams that anyone has. I know that you guys are going to smash them, and yeah, good luck, and thank you so much for watching my video. If you did like it and you did find some good tips, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thanks guys, bye!